Hey, welcome back to the explainer. In the world of AI, there is this mantra, right? Bigger is always better. But what if it is not the whole story? Today we are diving into a tiny new AI that's basically flipping that whole idea on its head. So let's start with the question that honestly sounds like it's straight out of a science fiction. What if an AI the size of a mouse could actually out-reason an elephant? I think about it. For years, the AI race has been all about scale, right? More data, more power, just bigger models. But what if that entire assumption is got to get turned upside down? And that brings us to the little powerhouse, a tiny Gyan Slayer. It is a new AI model that completely rewriting the rules of what makes an AI powerful. And spoiler alert, it's a secret weapon that absolutely nothing to do with its size. So you want proof? Here it is. This is the ARC AGI reasoning benchmark. And believe me, it is one of the toughest tests out there for an AI. In this model, the hierarchical reasoning model or HRM, it scores a 40%. Now I know what you are thinking. 40% is not a plus, but in this context, it is a massive leap over its much larger competitors. This is really big deal. Alright, so just how small is this Gantt Slayer? Well, you are looking at the number a mere 2 crore 70 lakh parameters. Let me super clear here. In the universe of large language models, that is shockingly small. It is almost comically tiny. And just to really put that into perspective, let's compare it to a model we have all heard of, something like GPT-3. That beast runs on 175 billion parameters. We are talking about the model that is more than 6,000 times smaller, yet it's winning on a super complex reasoning test. How is that even possible? So what's the secret sauce here? How does it pull this off? Well, it all comes down to exceptional data efficiency. The HRM can learn these incredibly complicated tasks from the just 1000 examples. And get this, it does it with zero pre-training. None. To give some context, some of big models, even after being trained on a million examples, still couldn't even crack 20% on similar tasks. This is just a fundamentally different ball game. This kind of information isn't some happy accident, it is totally by design. It's all about choosing architecture over brute force. The big idea here is not just to shovel in more data or throw more computing power at the problem. Now it's about designing an AI that actually thinks in a different way. One analyst put it so well, and I love this quote because it just cuts through all the usual hype. They said the word breakthrough is mostly marketing bullshit, but this seems different. When a model's architecture, not its size, is the reason it crushes the competition, that's a leap forward. And that is exactly what this is, a genuine leap forward. So, what is the revolutionary architecture? Well, it's a brain inspired design. The creators actually looked to neuroscience, trying to copy a fundamental principle of how our brains handle information so efficiently, and this breaks it down perfectly. The model is basically split into two parts. Think of it like you have a CEO and the super focused specialist. On one side, you have got the slow planner. They call it H module. This is the CEO, the one thinking about the big picture, the abstract strategy. Then on the other side, you have got the fast executor of L module. This is specialist, the one who dives in and just crunches the numbers, performing rapid, detailed work to get a very specific job done. Okay, but how can we actually measure that, how differently these two parts of AI are thinking? Well, researchers use the metric called the participation ratio or PR. To put it simply, it's a way of measuring how many different computational tools or a feature a module used to solve problem. A higher PR scores basically means more cognitive flexibility. It is like a generalist who can handle all sort of different tasks, and wow, just look at the difference here. The H module, our strategic planner, has a massive PR of nearly 90. It is using a super wide range of mental tools to think abstractly. But then look at the L module, our executor has a much lower PR, just over 30. And that's not a bug, it's a feature. It means it is hyper specialized for its one job. This deliberate division a labor, that's the magic right there. Alright, so we get a planner and we get a executor. But how do they actually work together to solve a problem? Well, let's get into it. This is where we see the HRM's unique process in action. The engine driving this whole thing in a process called hierarchical convergence. It sounds complicated, but it's basically just this really elegant feedback loop that lets the two part of AI think together as a team. Okay, let's use the Sudoku puzzle to make this super clear. Step 1 plan. The S module, our CEO, sets a simple sub goal, something like just solve the top left box. It doesn't worry about all little numbers, just the big objective. Step 2 execute. Now L module jumps in and performs tons of super fast calculation to fill that one specific box. Step 3 update. The L module sends its answer back upstairs to the planner. And finally step 4 repeat. The S module, now armed with new information, issues a new sub goal. It is this constant powerful cycle of planning, doing, updating and planning again. And it is this cycle that's the real game changer. What allow for deep complex computation. It lets the model follow this long chain of reasoning without getting lost, or as the researcher put it, without its logic just fizzling out. And that's exactly where so many the bigger standard models tend to fail. So what's the big picture here? What does this all mean for the future of AI? Well, we are looking at the brand new leap forward. The success of this tiny model could have a huge impact on the entire field. Okay, so let's boil it all down. What are the main things you should take away from this? First, it's proof that a really smart, brain-inspired design can actually outperform raw brute force. Second, it shows that data efficiency, not just sheer data volume, is a totally valid part to creating powerful AI. And finally, all of this point to one major conclusion: smart architecture. That is next big frontier in AI. And that leaves us with one final thought, a question to chew on. If smarter design, not just bigger size, really in the future of artificial intelligence, what else have we been getting wrong? What other fundamental ideas are we about to see completely overturned? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us.